the WWJ Industry Connected Podcast, a monthly podcast devoted to the groundwater industry produced by the National Groundwater Association. I'm your host, Mike Price, and today we're joined by Brent Downey, a certified public accountant and third-generation driller for Downey Drilling Inc. in Lexington, Nebraska. We discussed the company adding its first Tophead drive drilling rig for safety and workforce development purposes, as well as how to financially prepare for that next rig purchase. Welcome to the WWJ Industry Connected Podcast, a monthly podcast devoted to the groundwater industry produced by the National Groundwater Association. I'm Mike Price, Senior Editor of the National Groundwater Association's Water Well Journal, and today I'm with Brent Downey of Downey Drilling Inc. in Lexington, Nebraska. Welcome, Brent. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Brent is a third-generation water well driller and son of Tom Downey, CWD/PI, who served as president of the National Groundwater Association in 2006 and received the 2012 Ross L. Oliver Award and 2009 Standard Bearer Award from NGWA. And Brent, welcome again to the podcast. Can you introduce yourself and share your industry background with us and go from there?
Yep. So like you said, Brent Downey, Downey Drilling Incorporated, out of main office out of Lexington, Nebraska. We serve, I want to say 8 to 9 other states, have offices in Kansas and then various in Nebraska. A little bit about myself. Obviously, I've been in part of the water well industry my whole life. My grandpa had a business, water well industry or water well company in central Nebraska. And then my dad has what he has. And then I kind of took a roundabout way to it. So whenever I tell people this, they kind of chuckle. I'm actually a CPA by trade. And then came back to the family business in 2012 and just kind of been working back here and watching it grow and helping where I can. So,
man, so you're both in the office and out on a rig, split time. Okay.
Yep, do a little bit of both. So, which is nice. It's nice. I almost kind of like being out in the field more than the office. Seems to have less, the administrative side. No one wants to deal with. Everybody likes the work. The work side's the easy part.
There you go. I was going to ask you what your favorite part is.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
That's a little bit of background about me.
Nice. Good deal. Well, let's dig in. You guys have been busy this year so far. And so with an eye towards safety and workforce development in the future, as your father mentioned in a recent article in Water Well Journal regarding this decision, your company invested in its first Tophead drive drilling rig in August of 23, a VersaDrill V140X, which you broke ground on a geothermal borefield project last year. Can you just walk us through the thought process back in 23 and the discussion that took place? And if it was before 23, if this was
we started talking probably, I want to say, late 2020, early 2021. Our thought process, obviously, I think it's general consensus through no matter what you're doing right now to get employee, and the employee workforce is very tough. Mm-hmm. So, you have to somehow set yourself apart, we feel like, and be forward thinking. So our idea was, you got a lot of people have these table drive rigs and there's nothing wrong with them, but they're mechanical clutches and brakes and winches and things like that. Well, this younger generation isn't quite as mechanical as what the older generation was. So our idea was, we need to look in a different direction that try to appeal to this younger generation to obviously that's our workforce. That's our driving force behind our company, what generates revenue for us. So we're like, we started talking to Marcus and his group there at VersaDrill, and we talked to a couple others. And we're like, kind of looking, my dad has some friends outside of the state that have a couple of Tophead drives. And really the Tophead drives are a big thing. Outer Nebraska, just the formation really, we didn't feel like was probably ideal for one in Nebraska, but we'll get into that. And I think we were wrong on that. But anyways, our idea was maybe we need to take the risk factor out of it, where you're hydraulic, you let off something or you pull the wrong lever, you're not going to come slamming down with drill pipe or something like that. So we started talking to Marcus and his team and a few others. And at the end of the day, we just leaned more towards Marcus and the VersaDrill group just because it was a better fit for us. And we thought the product was fit for our needs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's appealing. One, it's the first thing you see, all kids, they got their cell phone from. They like the electronics, they like having that at the touch of
Yes.
their hand. The first thing you see when you look at the back of the rig is a big LED screen that's about 7 inches by 10 inches, and it's got everything you can need on it. So I think right there out of the gate, everybody sees that and their eyes just open up instantly right there. But that was
Yep.
kind of the deal is, I mean, we had to appeal to younger kids, and one, the
Mm-hmm.
electronic side of it, where they see that and the controls and all that, and then two, safety. I mean, if a kid or a younger employee pulls the wrong lever and lets off it, well, nothing's going to come crashing down a top head drive. Mechanical rig, someone could get killed, God forbid, or something like that. So that was kind of our whole thought process behind that, was safety first, and then obviously appealing to this younger generation and try to get people in and provide a workforce for us.
Yep. That makes sense. It
Yeah.
surely does. So this purchase is a milestone for your company, not only for your company, but you're possibly the first customer in Nebraska to take delivery of a rig from VersaDrill. Um, and you conducted a drilling demonstration last year, and conducted a workshop on the transition from table drive to Tophead with Marcus Labe
Mhm.
at this past year's state show. How was that, and what were the most common questions you received?
It was good. I mean, I back to the top head drive. I want to say there may be one or two in the state possibly, but not new. They bought used, things like that, not taking anything away from that.
Okay.
I do
Yeah.
believe we're the first new top head drive rig there from VersaDrill. And I don't know if the other ones are VersaDrill or not, but um yeah, we did put a demonstration on there with Marcus. I want to say there was, I don't know, 30, 40 people at least in attendance. I thought it was well attended. I think basically, I mean, everybody's in the same boat to where, one, you want to take the manual side out of it. We're known as an industry that it's manually intensive. Everybody's like, geez, I don't want to do that. That's so labor intensive and this and that. Well, by coming to there, the top head takes a lot of work out of things. I mean, it's really could be a one-man show for the most part. I mean, there's very little handling a drill pipe. I mean, you don't have the pinch points like you do on a regular manual table driven rig. So I think that was the biggest thing. Guys just wanted to come actually see it in person and
Mm-hmm.
see how it operated. And I think the attendance was great. I think there was a lot of great communication back and forth between VersaDrill and the people that attended it.
Yeah.
And obviously, the big deal is the table drive rig is very easy to read formations. You got the table that kind of makes its chattering and things like that that you can read in different formations. With the top head drive, it takes a little bit to get used to, but there's still things that you feel for and can hear and things like that. But I think that was the big thing for guys that come and try to see that.
Sure. Sure. Well, that's and you've operated a table drive, yeah, all your
Yep.
life, and now you're
Yeah,
you're the
yeah,
number one. What's that?
we got all table drive rigs. This is our first top head drive rig, and yeah, so we're all, like I said, we built a new table drive rig, well, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. We got another one, a reverse rig being finished up that's table driven. So yeah, I mean, we're table driven company. That's what we are, and we kind of said, nope, not going to go top head, and here we are. I don't know if we'd go back. I mean, it's we like it so far.
That's great to hear. Let's talk about, yeah, the learning curve. You've been the number one operator on it thus far.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Myself and then my brother. I mean, our company, I mean, we're hands on. I mean, yeah, our name's on the side of the trucks in the building, but we're hands on. And our thought process is if I'm going to turn this loose to one of our employees or drillers, we have to be able to run it ourselves and fully understand it. So if we have questions from them, we can answer them. We're not going to turn them loose and expect them to figure it out themselves. It's just not how we operate. So yeah, we've probably drilled, I don't know, between 100, 150 holes with it so far, at least. And the learning curve it's definitely different. We've been falling. Uh, it's not horrible, but I'm getting used to it. We fall around probably the first 80 to 90 holes with our geophysical unit. Just basically, we drill the hole, we'll get the driller's log, and then we geophysical e-log it, electric log it, and just
Yeah.
kind of compare to make sure that we're reading things how they actually are. And that's been very helpful. Some things you can kind of listen for and things like that, but just to kind of compare them back and forth. But yeah, it's been good.
Sure. Good deal. So advantages and disadvantages of a top head versus a table drive. You've inferred a little bit on that with the
Yep.
simplicity of a table drive.
Yep.
A little bit more.
Yeah, I would say obviously the advantages are one is safety is the biggest deal. I mean, you don't have guys with their hands down around the pinch points or where pipes going together. You're picking up pipe with the rig, putting it together with the rig. So I would say the safety is the biggest advantage right there. Second is like I said, the electronics and just the appeal of the back of it. I mean, it looks like something a kid today would want to run. I mean, you got that digital screen. I mean, it's got everything at your fingertips. I mean, it's got your fuel you're burning per hour. It's got all your hydraulic pressures. It's got the O&M manual. It's got everything you could possibly want on that digital screen. And then I think that another advantage is just the manual labor. It's taken a lot of labor, the manual side out of it. Obviously, today's workforce is a little different than it used to be. I mean, you had a lot of farm boys throwing hay bales around. You get today, I mean, people want to do little as possible. So you put that Versa-Drill where you don't have to handle drill pipe. You put a portable mud system next to it, and it's pretty much watch it drill and read formations. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. So I would say those are the biggest ones.
Have you thought of including a photo of the screen and the console and put it in like a job ad?
I've thought about that. Yeah, I've thought about putting that on the back there.
Yeah,
taking them to show them that first. Yeah, because it's like I said, I like technology and I'm all for it too. I mean, it's pretty impressive back there.
Yeah, and I mean, there's all kinds of benefits with the Versa-Drill rig. Your father mentioned how if you have internet connection, you can be in contact with the main office in Indianapolis if there's any troubleshooting issues.
Yeah, yep. They can basically log on and help you real time. I mean, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. They can get on there, diagnose what the issue is, and it's pretty amazing. And those guys there, Versa-Drills have been nothing but helpful. I mean, they give you their personal cell phone. So I mean, if you got a call any time of the day, they answer, and it's been really good. It's been a good fit for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, the industry is just very helpful in that regard.
Oh yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's all small. We're all here to help each other. We competitors, we go at it, but at the end of the day, we're all working for the common goal.
Yep. Well, switching to efficiency with the Tophead, have you noticed? Like some say it comes with like the drill rod carousel, like you mentioned. Others say it's on the front end of things. Where have you seen efficiency gains with the Tophead thus far?
Oh, I would say, yeah, on the front end of things. I mean, the first, you got 300 foot in the carousel. So, I mean, as one person's drilling, another person can be getting casing ready or whatever that may be, just to get a further step ahead for the next step of the process. So I think that's the biggest one. And just the setup of the rig. I mean, you can, a table drive rig takes a little bit longer. The Tophead, you're standing there right up and you're ready to drill. I mean, it's your drill pipes already. It stands up at the tower, and it's just overall, just efficiency just seems like it's a lot better.
Great. And you mentioned too, getting a feel for the Tophead. All rigs talk to the driller in their unique ways. So, can you share what you've learned so far? On the sounds and feels.
It's still the table drives. I mean, it's right there talking to you. The table's right there. The Tophead's the same way. It's not as profound, but it's a little more subtle, but it still talks to you. You can feel it in the step. You can feel it in the drill pipe. I mean, it's still there. That's why I think it was a good thing to go with our geophysical tool. Yeah. So the table drive rig, obviously you have the table right there talking to you, but the Tophead, I mean, you can still feel it. It's a little more subtle. You can still feel in the drill pipe. You can feel it in the step. That's why I think it was beneficial for us to go around the first 70, 80 holes and do a geophysical log, because we could say, okay, maybe in this 20 foot or whatever, we thought we were in sand and gravels, but maybe it was clays. And we could say, why was that? Or, where did we go wrong? Or why did we think that? And then we could say, okay, well, maybe we heard that, you could find different sounds you would hear through the top head or the drill pipe that also get, okay, maybe that, yeah, that's what I'm feeling now. I get it. So I think that was huge to get us to feel comfortable with how we were reading formations. That was a big deal.
Sure. And can you share how the breakout process goes with the pipe?
Yeah, I mean, you're basically, you got a 300 foot on ours. I mean, you can get different options on ours than ours, but on ours we got a 300-foot table or carousel. 300-foot rod can fit up there. So I mean, you're basically pulling rod with your top head, catching it with your breakout tongs, busting it off, go up, kick a switch, kicks it over, drop it down on the carousel, use the wrench with your foot, hit a lever, unscrews it, and drop it. I mean, there's no tongs throwing it down a slide. I mean, it's literally, like I tell people, you're pushing buttons. Literally, that's what it is. You're just pushing buttons. And that's why I said it just takes the labor out of it. And I had some guys with me that spent the last probably 10 years on a table drive rig, a test rig, straight motor rotary table drive rig.
Mm-hmm.
I took them with me this year after we got the top head. I can't hardly get them to go back to the table drive rig because it's just less work.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, it's just less handling a drill pipe manually. I mean, it's just safer. It's tough for guys to go back to it. So, I mean, I told my dad the other day, I said, we got a lot of good relationships with guys that build table drive rigs, and we always will. But I mean, we build another straight mud rotary rig. I just don't see how it wouldn't be a top head drive.
Oh, you answered my next question about what you guys are thinking moving
Yeah,
forward.
yeah. And then, I mean, we've already started kind of talking about that. I mean, looking down the road, 5-10 years. And I don't know how we couldn't. I mean, obviously you have to appeal to the workforce, and obviously manual labor is a big deal, and it takes a lot of it out and the injury part of it out, or at least helps or mitigates that. You're kind of stupid not to think about it.
Right. I mean, and jokingly, you've considered adding the photo in a job ad, but with regard to workforce development, where is your thinking in trying to recruit and find talent to add to the company?
It's tough. I mean, like I said, if you're not, our kind of motto, I mean, if you're not forward thinking, you're standing still, you're going backwards. So, I mean, we're constantly trying to think of, what's the next thing or advantage we can get to appeal to this younger generation. I think it's that. I mean, safety is a big deal. You see electronics. It's basically you're just hitting switches and pulling levers back there. And that appeals to kids, especially, I mean, if a kid has to go out there and work his butt into the ground and shovel cuttings and no, but yeah, as far as workforce development, I mean, if you can have a rig that takes a lot of the manual labor out of it, increases safety, I mean, it's only going to appeal to the younger generation. I mean, if a kid's out there shoveling his butt into the ground, shoveling out of a mud pan, it's not appealing. And I think our industry struggles with that. Like you have to reinvest in equipment and tooling and things like that to appeal to these younger generations. Or if we don't appeal to the younger generation, what's going to happen? I mean, eventually it's all going to go by the wayside. And we're a huge part of what is done in this whole world.
Yeah.
I mean, irrigation, municipality. I mean, yeah, it's sort of thought. I mean, you got the top head drive rigs, you got portable mud systems. I mean, let's make this as easy as possible.
Yeah. And to do that, you need to be in a good financial place.
Yeah, it is. You're exactly right. I mean, the Versadrill was a huge investment. I mean, most people have an idea what it costs, but you have to invest to get to that point. I mean, it's tough, but you just have to. I mean, it's just part of it. And it was a good investment for us. I mean, like I said, at the start, we were kind of against top heads, and then we were back and forth, and we thought, let's give it a try. And I mean, it was a great decision. I just don't see how we'd go any other way when we build another rig.
And as a CPA, I mean, you're seeing numbers. Like everyone else, like in your company. And what would you guys say to guys who are looking ahead to making that investment? To tidy up their books and be prepared for that big investment, what would you say?
I mean, I tell this to a lot of people. I mean, our industry, and I'm not saying anyone, we hurt ourselves a lot of times. Like, I think sometimes we get so focused on the work and getting it done that we don't realize what we put into it, what it costs, and everything like that. And I'm not saying rip people off or what. Everybody needs to be charged fairly. It doesn't matter what you do throughout whatever industry you're in. You need to charge fair and be paid for that. And I think the biggest deal is I mean, it's a huge investment, but if you got if you're looking to be in this long term, I don't see how it can't pencil out. Now, if this is a short term deal for you, ain't gonna do it. $1 million purchase plus is not something that's gonna pan out and pay for itself in 3 to 5 years. But if you're in for a little haul, I just don't know how it would work.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that makes sense for sure. And just lastly, any business resources that you would recommend since you're a CPA, podcast wise or other types of resources for guys?
Oh, no, no, yeah. I mean, it's ultimately, I think that I just think you need to dive in. Yes, it's important to get the work done, but you need to know what you put into it, your time, your materials. I mean, everybody's time is valuable. You need to charge accordingly, you know? And like I said, we're all in the same boat. I mean, workforce is tough to get. You have to set yourself apart some way and to get track to people. It's part of it. So, I mean, like the guys at Versadrill, and I'm not trying to say this Versadrill is the way to go. It's whatever. There's quite a few other top head drive rigs that are being made. I just go and talk to them and see. I mean, they're all helpful. Versadrill has been nothing but great. It was a great fit for us. They've been nothing but helpful to us. I mean, just inquire about one and see, but I really think you'll see our industry heading that way. I mean, it's just heading that way. It has to. I mean, it has to because obviously the number of workforce coming into our industry is going down, just like a lot of our industries. So one, you're going to have to try to get his work done with less labor, and that's one way to do it.
Yep.
So.
Well, is there anything else we haven't covered on the Tophead transition that you feel you want to?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. Like I said, it's been a good fit for us. Not saying it's for everyone. It's been a nice change, challenging at times, but it's been a good change, and we're always looking for a challenge. But yeah, we like it. I mean, takes a lot of labor out of it. Injury is a big deal, you know, as far as the safety side of it and watching things like that. So I think it's something that's going to be more prevalent in the days to come, years to come. So.
Right. Well, hey, Brent, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate the info you've shared with us today.
Yeah, well, I hope so. So I appreciate you guys asking me to do this.
Thanks for listening to the WWJ Industry Connected Podcast. We'll be back next month with a brand new episode, so be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the major platforms, so it will be easy to find us. And visit waterworldjournal.com for the latest expert columns, feature articles, videos, and news covering the groundwater industry. So one more time for Brent and I, thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.